Hi, this is Rusty Vanneman. I am the Chief Investment Officer for CLS Investments, and welcome to the CLS Monthly Market Review. And this month I have with us Josh Jenkins, Portfolio Manager, works on a lot of different portfolios and strategies for us, including the highly popular Active Income X. So welcome and come on board to do the review with me this month. It was a great month for the markets. Again, for the global financial markets, basically everything was up. Small caps were down, but it's been a great time to be a global investor. Everything's working, including in fixed income.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a really good month for fixed income. We saw yields come down a little bit, and then credit spreads tightened. So really, anywhere you were invested within fixed income, as long as you had interest rate exposure that was similar or higher to the benchmark, and credit exposure that was similar or higher than the benchmark, then it was a really good month for you.
Exactly. Well, I guess there was one thing that didn't really work last month, and that was commodities. Mm-hmm. And so I guess this kind of sets up to talk about our investment themes. We could take this all a bunch of different ways. We have 3 different themes. Each one of them has worked in its way, and each of them has kind of subtracted some relative performance for us this year. But obviously one area is creative diversification. Mm-hmm. It's one of our themes. Mm-hmm. And obviously you've talked about how we can manage duration and credit exposures. But kind of talk to us about creative diversification, that theme. What has worked and what hasn't worked for us this year? Obviously, I've already teased it with commodities not working. But.
Sure. With creative diversification, I think kind of what we've done is entering this year, we saw yields back up quite a bit. Just investor sentiment was extremely bearish, and we used that as an opportunity to actually increase our exposure to interest rates rather than decrease.
Yep.
And that's actually added a lot of value. I guess since then we've seen rates come back down. They've dropped maybe 40 basis points or so from their peak, and so I think right now we might take a little bit of that off the table. But that's just been a way we've been adjusting portfolios, and that's worked out for us. And then over time, thinking about our credit exposure, credit has done extremely well over the last year. Mm-hmm. And that's been an area where we've been dialing back that exposure and looking for opportunities elsewhere. And so in addition to improving our credit quality, we've also diversified within high yield a little bit. Mm-hmm. And switched some exposure from corporate high yield to high yield munis, and that's also helped.
Those are all great points. Everything you just said, it kind of goes back into how we just manage money. Mm-hmm. We're buying weakness and selling strength. That gets us into our other theme, our big theme, global value. In a way, it's kind of funny to talk about this as a theme because this is what we are. We're global value managers. We are more relative value than absolute value. Mm-hmm. In terms of global value, there are things that have worked for us and things that have not worked for us this year. But obviously what has worked is probably our most prominent thing that we talk about is emerging markets. Mm-hmm. And as of last Friday, emerging markets are now up almost 30% in absolute returns, have almost doubled what the S&P has done. So that has obviously worked. Things that haven't worked as much is the move actually into value-oriented stocks, financials, mm-hmm. natural resource stocks.
Sure.
Those are things we went into last year. We made that switch. It worked great for us in 2016. This year it's kind of given back a little bit of that performance. But anyway, those are all areas we still like. And then the third theme, of course, is smart beta. Mm-hmm. And smart beta just basically means we like smart beta ETFs. We're one of the leading users of them. You are doing a prominent presentation on smart beta, even fixed income in New York later this week. Yep. So good luck on that.
Very excited about that.
And in smart beta, most of our exposures have worked, except again in value. Mm-hmm. And mm-hmm. But nonetheless, we still like value quite a bit. All right. So another real reason why I have you on here, besides pumping up for your smart beta presentation coming up, is who do you really think is the greatest basketball player of all time?
Well, my opinion may be a little bit biased because I'm a fan of Cleveland sports, but to me, it's got to be LeBron. I think generally he's a better facilitator, and I think he really makes his teammates much better than they are. So it's got to be LeBron for me.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Actually, I write about in the monthly this time that I think LeBron is also the best. And to me, there's a couple major takeaways, even for investors. Because being a sports fan and being an investor, they're really not the same thing. A sports fan, it's emotional, it's entertainment is what it is. And investing, as much as we love it, it's really not supposed to be entertainment. It's just a whole different thing. So with that disclaimer out of the way, there's a lot of similarities between being a sports fan and investor is the emotional reactions. And I think that, when it comes down to it, what do you want to look for in a team, an investment team or or sports teams. You want to see process. You want to see consistency. And in LeBron's case, the consistency part of it, I mean, this is his 7th straight time to the NBA Finals. I mean, that's just crazy.
Right, and he's done that with different teams. He's done it with different coaches over time.
He's done it with no supporting cast in some cases either.
Sure,
I mean, it's just been incredible. But really, I think that, and I think this is an important point, even to investors, is that don't chase championships, chase a good process.
Sure.
You want to invest in a manager with a great process, and because over time they're going to be in the hunt for those championships. So anyway, it's not chasing performance, which sports fans and investors all alike want to do. So anyway, well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you got it. And thank you for your time and trust in CLS Investments.